ideas are where the big bucks are. Now, I'm sure if you were growing up, I don't know what age you are right now, but I'd say when you were maybe in your teens or whatever, I'm sure your parents or your guardians was recommending that you should get into a highly paid occupation. You should be maybe thinking of becoming a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, a chemist, or whatever it is, but I'm sure there's probably occupations that a lot of parents and guardians kind of jump for because those are the ones with the big bucks and they want you to get into those and you're going to be set up for life. But as you can probably see here, with the coronavirus and with automation and with everything that's going on at the moment, a lot of those big occupations aren't as secure as they once were. You know, years ago, you probably, if you needed to get a will typed up, you would have gone to your solicitor or your lawyer, and you would have sat down with them and go through all the different things you wanted to put in your will. But nowadays, I can go onto Google, I can Google it, and I can come up with a will template that I can download, I can fill in, and I can probably register with some legal team somewhere, and I can do it for a fraction of the cost. And again, too, even if you were maybe thinking of being an accountant, again, there was probably big money in accountancy years ago, but nowadays I can buy a piece of software, I can buy an app, I can put all my figures in it, I can put in whatever I need to do, and the software will spit out how much profit I made, what my tax is, and all those different things that I can send off to, you know, the tax crowd to pay whatever it is. So again, automation and technology is going to make some of those things obsolete. And again, too, even at the moment with the coronavirus, I'm sure there isn't as many people going to lawyers anymore at the minute because we're all trying to avoid each other. So what is the big money in? Well, as I said at the start of this episode, it is ideas. I remember reading a book about Pixar, and just to show you how big an idea can be, Pixar, I don't know how many of the staff were sitting around a table at lunchtime, but they had worked out the storyline for A Bug's Life, WALL-E, Finding Nemo, and there was 2 other movies at the time. Again, there were movies that were made around the same time, so if you know your kind of Pixar history, you'll probably have an idea of what the movies were. But those 5 movies were all kind of worked out on one single lunch break. Now, I'm sure that was the most profitable lunch break that's ever been in history, but again, that was simply ideas that kind of exploded to make an absolute fortune. So, and again, just to give you another example of ideas, I remember listening to I think it was a podcast episode or something by Joe Vitale, and he had been mentioned that at the time he was trying to lose weight. Joe years ago had a weight problem, and I think at one stage, I think he nearly had a heart attack. He had to be taken off a plane because he had so many health problems. So he knew that he needed to turn his health around, and he started getting into fitness. I think he actually created his own gym or something. He built a gym in the house, and he got into appearing at fitness shows and everything. So he slimmed down, he toned up, and he built his muscles or whatever he needed to do. But one of the things he said he found the hardest when he was dieting and getting into shape was that when he would go for dinner, even though he could maybe control the calories at the dinner, he could, you know, go with more salads or whatever, he found that he would watch all his friends and drinking margaritas, and he said that he had great love for margaritas, but at the time he said he couldn't drink margaritas because the calories were huge in them. Now, I don't know much about margaritas, but I think he said there was a couple of 100 calories even in one margarita, so he couldn't drink them. So the only thing he could sit all night was drinking water while everybody else was having a good time drinking the margaritas. And at one stage he just got fed up. He tapped the desk and he said, somebody needs to sort out this problem. Now, Joe then, you know, he surprised everybody at the table and people probably laughed at him, but it did vex him for a while. He kept thinking, how can I come up with, you know, a low calorie margarita? And eventually, you know, he started putting the pieces together. He got in touch with somebody, I don't know who they were, whether it was some kind of food expert or somebody in the food kind of game, but between the two of them they had worked out a formula for a low calorie margarita, and it was one of the ones that was actually in a sachet. I think they made it as convenient as possible. So all the ingredients was in a sachet. You just pour it into the drink. Again, I don't even know what actually goes into a margarita, so whatever alcohol you would throw in on top with this little sachet of powder would suddenly turn into a low calorie margarita. Now, Joe said that when he created that product, I forget how somebody actually found out about it, but he was advertising it, he was promoting it, but some company actually took it and they bought thousands and thousands of those sachets. So he made an absolute fortune on this low calorie margarita. And again, as he said, it was simply from one idea. Now, what ideas can you come up with? Well, as Joe said in that episode, try and find a problem that maybe you're having, and that could be a problem that more people are having. So For example, one of the problems I had when I used to try and do fiction writing from the very, very start, one of the things that frustrated the hell out of me was coming up with storylines. I read more books and storylines, you know, how to plot this way, how to plot that way. You have this one, this is how you should do it, this is how you should do it the other way. So I had about maybe 5 or 6 books that were all kind of, you know, had me totally confused. Everybody was leading me in different directions, and at the end of the day I still couldn't plot my books. So I sat down and eventually I worked out my own way. But I knew at some stage other people that probably wanted to get into fiction writing were probably being held back because they couldn't come up with storylines. They didn't know how to plot the books, and because of that then I created a couple of products, a couple of video courses on showing people how to outline the books, how to come up with storylines, how to create characters, because those were the problems I had. And because I had those problems, I knew other people would have the same problems as I had. So if you are looking to come up with some kind of money making idea, have a look and see what problem you are going through right now. And do you think there is anyone else out there that is going through the same problem as you are? Now, if you are going to make a product that is going to make a lot of money, the more people that have that problem, the better. So get onto Google and see, is anyone asking questions about that problem you have? Is people looking for solutions for it? And if you have an answer to that solution, well then that is a product you should be creating right now. And the more people that have it, the better, because the more people you can help out and the more money you'll make from that product. So again, just circling back, you know, people years ago used to think that those occupations, again, solicitors, lawyers, doctors, all those different things would be something that would, you know, set you up for life. Once you had those occupations, you were guaranteed the big money. But I'm sure, as you can see, over the years there is a decline in how much those people are making, how much they're probably underpaid, overworked, and all those different things. So do you really want to get into an occupation like that? Instead, put your thinking cap on today, because money is where the big bucks is. A lot of companies are springing up right now, all these apps and all these different things that didn't exist, you know, a couple of weeks ago, a couple of years ago, that are exploding and that are making an absolute fortune, has come about from someone's idea, again, like Joe, somebody who is having a problem and is trying to come up with a solution. And they find when they do come up with a solution, more people are looking for that solution too, and then they are making an absolute killing on it. So get your thinking cap on today. What problems are you having that maybe you could solve, or that you have solved, that other people are looking for a solution to? And if you haven't created a product for that, well then it's about time you sat down and you typed it out, or recorded a couple of audio tracks, or recorded a couple of videos and show people how to do it and collect the money for it. So give that some thought today. The ideas are where the big bucks are right now. So as always, if you'd like to find more of this great content, do a search for WriteCome, WriteCome.com. You'll find the content all over the web, but if you'd rather maybe go over to YouTube, hit the little bell symbol and subscribe to this channel. I'll send all the next couple of videos and episodes to you. Or if you are listening to this as a podcast, again, hit subscribe and I'll send everything to you. So as always, have a great day. Get your thinking cap on. Take care. Bye bye.